Doing a little bit of audio testing. Stand by.
Runway DFW, Runway DFW, Runway DFW, Runway DFW, Runway DFW, Runway DFW. Runway DFW, Runway DFW.
Welcome to Runway DFW, live and in color from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. It's Walt here with you, not from our regular location, because we're in North Flow today, so switched it up a little bit. Hopefully we will, there's several things against us on this afternoon. Let me get some other music on here. There we go. So several of the things against us, we're looking into the sun, kind of as we do in the mornings at Founders Plaza. We are in an alternate location, which may or may not prove to be all that great today. And we're operating with a little different equipment because I'm testing things. As many of you know, I'll be traveling to Los Angeles and to Seoul in September, a little more than a month from now. So I've got to test some of the equipment that we'll be using remotely because I don't want to get there and find out it doesn't work. The other thing is, it gets very dark in this location after sunset, so we'll probably only be with you until a little after sunset today, which is 8:30 Central Time. So I want to come on a little bit early to make sure we could get some semblance of a broadcast in. Oh, that was sudden. I'm operating out of, as you can see here on this shot, I'm operating out of the back of my vehicle. And you may have noticed in front of us, in the prelude to the program, as I was getting the word audio sorted, there is an Air France plane sitting over there. It's a Dreamliner. And you know, when we were here on Thursday night, was it Thursday or Wednesday? I'm all confused. But when we were here last time, there was an Air France plane sitting there as well. Now, I don't know if it's the same one or if Air France is loading up on, sending in extra aircraft to get people to and from those Olympic Games. So that's possible. I don't see any. I see a cart there in the front of the plane. I don't see anything that looks like heavy equipment or like it's being worked on. So it may just be parked over there. Other thing is we don't have our regular second primary camera today. So we're kind of essentially we're working with one main camera. And then we got a couple of cameras we can switch to when we need to change things around. One nice thing about this location is we get to see things a lot closer than we normally do. And again, we have north flow today happening at DFW Airport, so we're on the south side, adjacent to runway 36 right, which is the takeoff runway. This plane's coming in on 36 left, the arrival runway. And it is so sunny out, I cannot look at my flight radar. Also, we don't have air traffic control today, because we have so much to set up. Well, actually so little to set up, because we won't be using ATC in Korea. So I thought, well, we'll give it a go without it here today. I know. So here's Miracle the Seagull on this Frontier A320. It's going to Sacramento, California. I know you've been sending messages. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. The American Airlines Airbus A319 going to Des Moines, and in the foreground we had a CRJ 701 American Eagle plane. So, good golly, I can't see a thing. I hope you can. Everything is backlit, and it's probably only going to get worse as the sun gets lower in the sky. I wish there'd be some clouds. At any rate, a little bit different perspective here. And when we'd been here before, we didn't have any planes parked on the apron in front of us, so it blocks our view a little bit. You could briefly see the UPS lineup of planes. And again, the reason we're not at Founders Plaza, our regular location, is because the planes go up in the sky pretty far away from us at Founders Plaza when we were in North Flow. So that is the reason for that. So we can get, let's see if this message thing works here. Is this gonna work? Blue Dragon Who says good evening, Walt, and everyone else too. That's not framed correctly. I'm afraid about that. I'm sorry about that. Ron C, the long lens compresses space so the planes are not that close. However, where we are located here at 36 right, the planes are pretty close. So our commenting section is not really working out that well because it's a little too much. We don't have a temperature on the screen today. Do we have our, let me see if we have our little forecast thing. Thought we did. Let's see here. Punch that up. 101 degrees. DFW Airport, wind 8 miles an hour of the north-northeast. It says wind gusts up to 10 miles per hour. Visibility 6 miles. Well, you can read it just as I can. And the sounds you hear are resupply trucks bringing food to the aircraft. So I'm going to have to see if I can work on this. It doesn't look right, does it? I see a message from Texas Girl, a $10 super chat. Hey, Walt, good evening. Good to see you live again. Those planes were there 2 days ago when I drove by. I sent you some more pictures of those planes. I remember seeing those pop up in my email, Texas Girl. Thank you for that. Devin Barnes says, good morning, Walt, from Australia. And again, I don't know that I'll be able to do a lot of looking at your messages today because of how we're configured. So I'm still working on this. And again, we probably won't be here much beyond sunset because our hang on. Because we don't have our after dark cameras deployed, and because it gets very dark where we are. So the aircraft landing there was flight 289. Is that right? 285? 289 from Rome. And we also have lit up, see if I can dial this in. We have a Queen of the Sky on the move. That would be Cargolux. Flight 6696 is going to Luxembourg. That is a 747-400 model, 17 years old. and you see it in the shadow of the fuselage of an Air France Dreamliner, which is parked in front of us right next to a Qatar Airways jet. Oops. Edwin, Texas says, according to Flight Radar 24 history, that Air France 787 flew into Dallas on July 28th and has not flown since. So I'm guessing it must be disabled, because I would, there's some problem with it, because I would think that during these 2 weeks especially, Air France would be deploying every available aircraft to move its customers to and fro from the Olympic Games. Scotty H wants to know, are you going to be live Tuesday evening? I have friends flying out to London. I don't have the definitive answer on that. All I know is that it's going to be very hot this week here in North Texas. I think every day is going to be 100+ degrees. We have a Dreamliner. Is that a Dreamliner? There's a car pulling up behind me. The car is moving. The car was not marked. I couldn't turn around to view it. Maybe they're just trying to figure out what I'm doing. Walt, I hope you stay hydrated out in that heat, says Douglas 44, and I do have a very handy container filled with liquid. That's good water. Scotty H with a $10 super chat for the hydration fund. Thank you, Scotty. We have in front of us that looks to be American Flight 182. It's going to Dublin. It's a 200 ER. You were talking about Paris a little bit ago. I did see on Flight Radar 20 yesterday. There was an American airline in London, and it had to divert. I believe it went to JF. And I would imagine the passengers on that plane were not very happy. Don't. I am seeing that we've had some dropped frames. Buffering is never good. And that's one of those things that happens when you set up in a because everything when we're at Founders Plaza bus, but I do see that Beve, one of our mods, is saying I'm a bit choppy. And I did anticipate that for that. Setting up to do. It's entirely possible. I mean, when it's things are going to get hot. Now I'm told the audio is what are called dropped frames, and that's not. We investigate alternatives here as far as our connection goes. So we'll work on those problems. Very patient. So we'll put on our music. We'll see if we connection going. So, alrighty then, we're going to put on some music and there goes my voice, and see what we can do. Where is my playlist? If you can see me here, I'm scrolling through our playlist. Let's see. All right, everyone. What I'm going to do now is we're going to have to shut down. We're going to have to shut down our stream to switch over to an alternate way to connect. So we'll see if that works. But what's going to happen is this is going to be a different stream, so you'll have to find it on YouTube. And it may work, it may not. We'll see. We're experimenting here on Runway DFW. So we're going to shut things down, be back in about within 5 minutes, I would say. So thanks for your patience, and we'll hope to see you again real soon here on Runway DFW. Well, hello everyone. I think we're back. We're on a different connection, a different carrier, and I'll keep an eye on how our stream goes, but so far so good. And we happen to be on the same poster that we put up initially. So that's confusing, but we were able to stay on the same connection, I guess, just with a different carrier. And the nice thing is the sun is starting to go behind some clouds. So we should be able to see a little better what we're showing you here. The plane that is there, I believe, I didn't have a chance to see it go by, but I think this is, yes. That's Qatar Flight 730. It's an A350-1000. We'll get a little better look at it as it turns here. It is going back to Doha, one of 2 daily Qatar Airways flights. Try to get you in a little closer than we normally do, because these planes are closer than they normally are to us. Thank you for sticking around here with us on Runway DFW as we sort out some technical issues. I think this is the first time I've ever had to fall back on our backup streaming device. We usually use T-Mobile. We're on Verizon now. So as this plane takes off, you'll get to see 2 Qatar planes in one shot, because we've got one parked right here in front of us. And I'm assuming that's the flight that goes out later tonight. Goes out around midnight, does the other flight. This plane's scheduled to go out at 6:55. So it's running about a half hour late. Got an Airbus 321 Neo passing in front of us. So once again, Runway DFW coming to you from our site adjacent to runway 36 right as the planes are taking off to the north today. Well, I'm glad you could find us again after our kind of after our technical issues. This is flight 636, I think, to San Francisco going out. You know, we're going to pull out here and look at this beautiful Air Canada Airbus A220. We never see it this close. That plane's going to Toronto. Swing around here to get a departure. This tripod a little tilty. I have to check that. Let me do a little tripod check here. On my tippy toes here because I have to raise the tripod up a bit so that we can get mostly over the fence. O'Malley with a Canadian phrase, Beauty A. And Robert says hello all. Hey, Robert. Robert, of course, being another one of our mods on duty right now. Beve, O'Malley. Anybody else? That's about it, I guess. Glad to have you all here with us. And you know, I guess I lost track of that 747. I guess during our technical issues, it must have departed from us. We do have another wide body coming our way. We have American Flight 963 to Sao Paulo. And I think this is it, poking its head from behind that Qatar plane. We also have a United, it's like an Airbus A319 parked. I'm going to guess it's going to San Francisco. What do you think? No, it's going to Denver. That is flight 2330 headed to Denver. And meanwhile, that Air Canada plane to Toronto is still parked. We get some great sounds. We get some great shots from where we are. But again, not our usual spot. The United plane is on the move. But first out of the gate here is going to be American Flight 2520. And this is going to Calgary, Canada. If we can see it through all these planes. And according to my little gizmo here, we haven't dropped any frames. So that means you should be getting a steady picture from our alternate location here. It's off to Western Canada. Yeah, we got photobombed by that E-jet. O'Malley says, looks and sounds great. I wish I could adjust the size and location of the comments there, but thank you for the feedback. Here goes the flight to Sao Paulo. Are we still in that shot? I guess we are. Am I right about this? Anthony Guinan with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Anthony. Says he, variety is the spice of life. So that was flight 963-7879 off to Sao Paulo. The United baby bus headed to Denver is next. I have to say, as the sun gets lower in the sky, we'll probably be less and less communicative as far as the planes we're trying to show you. We'll try to stay here through the departure of the Airbus A380 British Airways Speedbird back to London. I didn't see it come in. I wasn't here in time for it to see it come in. It usually goes out in about the 7 o'clock hour, or maybe 8 o'clock. We'll try to stick around for that. A lot depends on the sun, the lighting at that time. You know, if it's getting too dark, we may not be able to hang out for that. The Shy One saying the signal is not steady, so we'll be on the lookout for that. And I want to thank Anthony again for the $2 super chat. And he says this location is a nice change, great close-up views. Yes, we do like this location. Wish we could come here more often. Usually, well, I try to reserve this for occasions when we can't use Founders Plaza, because this is not as authorized a location as Founders Plaza is. Now, there's no signs where I am that say you can't be here. So I kind of go on that, and I'm well off the road. So we were looking at that United plane going to Denver. I think it's finally going to take off here. Another Dreamliner getting in the way there. Police car speeding past us here on the access road that we're on. There's another one. So I guess they have better things to worry about than me. Someone notes there's a lot of heavies waiting out by the pad here. At least a couple. Air Canada now on the move. We have an American 7878 Dreamliner headed to Miami in line to take off, along with a 787-8 or a 787-8 Dreamliner going to Amsterdam. Once again, this Air Canada plane is lining up to take off to Toronto. And as Bob and Doug McKenzie might say, take off, eh? Well, Mally referring to these planes sitting in front of us, saying the de-icing is taking forever. And I think I lost my... my drums, a drum set. But that was a good line, O'Malley. Sorry I couldn't give you the everything that it deserved. All right, so we haven't yet dropped any frames with Verizon here. We do have a, we did see, you didn't see them, we saw some police cars go behind us. We do have now a fire truck going by us. I think we can see where it goes. Chase Utter says, I wish I didn't have to sit out today. Well, Chase, I thank you for... Chase Utter is, of course, he's just been doing fantastic work, supplying when he can the time codes to our shows so that you can go back and watch, you know, whatever you want to watch on a replay. And he can't do it today, but I do really thank you so much, Chase, for your great work in doing that service for our channel and our viewers. Comes an Airbus A321neo just a few dozen feet in front of us. It's going to Phoenix. Flight 339. Let me see if I can triangulate what that is. I think that's flight 220 going to Amsterdam. Got about 8 planes lining up to take off here on the south side of DFW Airport from runway 36 right. David and Sandy Resorts says, hello, Walt, enjoying the show as usual. Thank you so much. We've got another American Airlines Airbus A321 hightailing it in front of us. This one's going to San Diego. Just kind of getting in line here. And the fire truck we saw on the move is now returning with lights off. There it goes. Here I am, working out of the back of the car here. I do see, let's see if I can find it for you here. We missed the previous 747. We're going to try to work this one in for you here. It's Cargolux, flight 5907, going to Chicago O'Hare. It's a 747-8. You see the nose of it there. It's a 10-year-old plane. It's partially blocked by the Air France plane, the Air France Dreamliner, which is parked in front of us. You know what I should do before we lose our signal or something else goes wrong? I want to make sure that we acknowledge all of our channel members here on Runway DFW. So I'm going to press this button here and see if this works. There we go. I didn't put in this other stuff either. All right, so we're going to thank our channel members, starting with the official sponsor of Runway DFW, and that would be, you know him, you love him, you can't live without him, James Webb. Thank you, James. And now we will acknowledge our Quadjet channel members here on the channel. And this list was devised earlier this afternoon, so if you're a new member, look for your name next time. So thanks to our Quadjet members. Let's see, this compiled this at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So who we got there? We got 757 Chip, we've got A-list flyer Chris, Alan J, Beaker and Honeydew, Bev A, Cubs Win, Dan Griffiths, Deborah Klein, Dimitri H, Dwayne C, James Webb, there he is again, Josh Aldrich, Kai, Kevin Kelly, KS Avgeek, Lori M, Michael Flannery, Michelle RS, Mike G, Pete Nordine, R. Bauer 25, Raina Taylor, S35 Bonanza Pilot, Sarah Deal, the real deal, Skittles, Steve Lundaby, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Will Hutchison, our Quad Jet channel members. Now you'll see the names of all of our other Tri-Jet and Twin Jet members, and I thank all of them for being a part of this growing channel. Well, looky there. It's well, I would say looky there. I can't see what it is. Is that the Air Canada? Or is that a Delta plane? No, that's Air Canada. Okay. Well, finally it gets to head back to Toronto. There's a 747 with a 787 engine in the foreground. And the Cargolux jet once again is going to Chicago O'Hare Airport. And the Dreamliner in the foreground with the spinning blades is American Flight 220 to Amsterdam. Sun getting a little lower in the sky. We're about a half hour away from official sunset here in North Texas. And I'm going to try to hang on until the Airbus A380 departs. Because that'd be very nice to see close up like this. Veronica Peters says, hello, Walt. 757 Chip says, good evening, everyone. Glad to have you folks along for the ride. Let's see if I can punch those in. There's Veronica. There's Chip. Beth F says, beep, beep. So now we can give you 3 large Boeing aircraft in one shot. 747 in the center. On the left we have flight 220 to Amsterdam. On the right we have flight 893 to Miami. Both of those American Airlines planes are 787-8 Dreamliners. Looks like the Amsterdam, oh no, looks like the 747 is on the move here. O'Malley chimes in, says, cargo never disappoints. I concur, Sir O'Malley. Off to the Windy City it goes. Okay, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you get your trip soon.
Yeah. She will.
Okay. Okay.
One of these days. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. People coming to see us even at this remote location here. We can kind of see the effect the sun is having on us. There's the sun, not a little bit out of focus there, isn't it? But you get the idea. I believe we have our Amsterdam flight getting ready to take off. See if we can get that into focus for you here on Runway DFW. Well, we've had kind of a rocky first hour of our broadcast, and we probably will only go for about another 45 minutes or so due to our setup. But things are going okay now. Beth F., yes, I noticed it was a little out of focus. That's what you call a beauty shot. But we're bringing this Amsterdam-bound flight into sharp relief for you. Dreamliner Dash 8. Super 80 Adrian referring to this as a plastic princess, the Dreamliner. So if we can bring you the tail end of this Sun Country plane coming in here. And I believe we've got the Miami-bound Dreamliner headed out now. Did I miss it? I didn't miss it entirely. Texas Girl says, I can't wait for the cooler weather so it won't be so hot for you, Walt. Well, I'm looking forward to that as well, but it's not too bad right now. We've got a little breeze. The sun is going down. Ron C. says, I'm an old TV engineer and I still cringe when a TV camera is pointed at the sun. Old cameras would burn the tube if pointed at a bright light. And Ron, I am an old TV photographer. I mean, I go back to the days of tube cameras, not back as far as black and white. Well, actually I do go back as far as the days of black and white. I never used a black and white camera professionally, although I did build one when I was in high school. That's true. Because I was really into TV. But when I started in TV news, well, when I first started in TV news, it was film. But I got the first batch of ENG cameras that were going to local stations, and the one we had, I believe it was called a Sony DXC 1600, was a one-tube camera. It was color, but it was very smeary, especially in low light. And when I say smeary, that means if you were to pan across a source of light or a bright object in the picture, it would leave kind of a streak in the picture. Mark F. apologizing for being late again. Don't worry about that, Mark. Not a problem. We had some technical issues earlier in the telecast. I lost focus on that one. That was American Flight 188 off to San Juan, Puerto Rico. We have another 7878 Dreamliner headed our way. unless it goes over the bridge. It's going to Frankfurt. Let's see. We pull out here just a bit. I think this is it. Oops. No, that's it. See if it comes our way or if it goes over the bridge. Keith B says, I have you on the big screen. It's fantastic. Let's see, somebody's saying, I can't see, it's kind of scrolled off my screen here. Oh, Ron C says we had TK76 field cameras, three tube shoulder cameras. Yes, Ron, I used that later in my career, the TK76. It was built pretty solid. Although I've told the story before that while covering we're doing a story for the Indianapolis, or at the Indianapolis 500 racetrack, I tripped over the pit wall and down went I, along with a TK76 on my shoulder and a Sony recorder backpack on my shoulder, or, you know, hanging off my shoulder. I used my knees to try to save the camera, although the camera was damaged. But it was returned to service. There is, as you can see, needs no introduction. It's the Airbus A380, British Airways Speedbird going back to London. And we'll get to see it closer than we normally do. Flight 192. For some reason, that flight number reminds me of Flight 191, the Delta L1011, which crashed here at DFW Airport, I think it was in 1980. So what would that be, 20 or 44 years ago yesterday? Oof. Thanks again to all of our members as we finish up with the thank yous. So let's follow along with the old A380, shall we? And you know, right behind this plane, you'll see in the background an American Airlines 777 there on the left. Just came in from London Heathrow, Flight 81. Sarah, the real deal, says we have the British Airways A380 fly in and out of Boston. It's a sight to be seen, although again the British Airways is going to terminate its flights here. Police car going by me. Did not stop. Is going to terminate its A380 service to DFW and replace it with, I think, a Dreamliner or a 777 or an A350, something like that. Here we got Air France and British Airways. The only two airlines that ever flew the Concorde, supersonic plane. Ron C says, I had a TV news cameraman bring me a camera with a bullet hole in the camera. It became spare parts. Yikes. Yeah, it can be a dangerous trip sometimes, or a dangerous job sometimes to be a TV news photographer. There's no doubt about that. There's the kind of shot you see a lot on airline videos live, looking out across the runways. You see the tails of British Airways and Air France and all those other international airlines lined up at the Tom Bradley terminal. The international terminal is kind of out of our sight from where we are here at DFW. Emery Yurtis with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Emery. Says, when is the Air France jet leaving for Paris? I don't have an answer to that question. It's been sitting there for a couple of days. And O'Malley says it's presumed to be parked there for maintenance. There's an American Airlines 737-800 coming our way. No, that was an Airbus A321, sorry. Meanwhile, Flight 70 going to Frankfurt is right there. That's another Dreamliner Dash 8. Texas Gal 07 says it's hard to believe that the A380 tail is 80 feet tall. Again, I'm reading your messages off a screen here. I'm not in a position to pop them up. I'm a little my setup here is not as ergonomic as it usually is. $757 Chip says, Walt, when you fly back from Korea, are you flying directly back into DFW? And if so, what type will you be traveling on? Well, I'll be on an American Airlines flight, and I think they're flying Dreamliners from Seoul. Dreamliner Dash 9, I believe. That'll be the first time I've been on one of those. Tom Duffy says, glad you're on this evening. And there, once again, is that's kind of, because of our angle, the A380 tail doesn't look as tall as it might if it were right up against that Air France Dreamliner. Reframe that with the West Tower in the shot. So yeah, Chip says, have I been on a Dreamliner before? I said, no. The last time I went to Korea, it was back and forth on American from DFW, and that was on a 777 both ways. And I do have to scrounge up. I did shoot some footage of the landing and a little bit of airport stuff when I was there last, so I'll have to resurrect that content. Now what's going on here? We've got some ground operations vehicles. Are they just happening by there, or are they going to the A380? Well, looks like they're just passing through. MRI says, hello, Walt, great new view at DFW. Not impressed by the 787, enjoy the 777, says he. Well, to be completely honest, this is not a new view for us. It's just one that we don't regularly utilize, because it's not quite as good for our purposes as being at Founders Plaza. And as I said, it's going to get dark here real soon. And there aren't any street lights or anything else where we are, so. Captain John said they had a push bar on the rug earlier. They hooking up Qatar. Yeah, this is probably about the time they tug that airplane over to Terminal D for its late departure tonight. Oh wait, what are they doing? Are they getting ready to move the Air France plane? I can't tell what they're doing over there. Well, that's not a tug. But over at the Qatar plane, they do have a tug hooked up, so we may get to see that moved away. Ryan Paulding says, hey, my friend Walt, at least this location isn't as crowded. Well, that's a positive thing. Let's see if we can get the sun in focus this time. Maybe not. What you're seeing there is that tail there is of a mock-up of an airplane that they use for fire training. And there's like a mock control tower there. And there's a little fire training center on the southwest side of DFW Airport. Grantham Shaw says that what we saw hooked up to the Air France plane are generators to keep it powered up. So sunset is 8:24, so we're just about 3 minutes away from sunset. So maybe we'll just keep it on there as we await that momentous occasion. Frontier jet going to Houston Intercontinental Airport with Fallon the Falcon on its tail. We're going to lose our light for the Dreamliner takeoff unless that goes out pretty soon. Sarah R. says, howdy Walt, hoping you're staying cool. Nice to catch a stream and have some background noise while studying for my stage check test ride. Well, good luck to you on your studies. I hope that all works out. $757 Chip saying answering a question saying, I've traveled multiple times on Dreamliners. My current favorite, although I may finally get a ride on a Cathay Pacific A350 in November. Those A350s have a pretty solid reputation. And the Texas Gal 07 says the A380 is on the move. It's kind of hidden behind Air France, but I think we'll get to see it take off. We just won't get to see the initial stages of it rolling out, but I think we should get to see its rotation from this angle. So here's what we came to see just as the sun sets in North Texas. There's that 8-story tail, so we won't be able to lose that. Ryan Paulding says beautiful takeoff, north flow, just like south flow for 380. As we say so long to that plane, we do now have the big Qatar A350-1000 being tugged away from its parking space. Is that wingtip getting a little close to the front of the Air France flight? I'm sure that's just a optical delusion from our standpoint. Texas Girl says, beautiful takeoff, love to watch. Now it's over me. Lori Smith says, I found myself at Fort Worth the other day, so I drove over to Founders and got to see a Qantas come in. First time to see an arrival, and in person was so cool. Yes, we try to replicate the experience for you here at Runway DFW, but really, you know, to see it in person is the suggested way to do it. So I hope if you're in the vicinity of an airport, you get a chance to go out, even if it's a smaller regional airport, or just watching single engine planes come and go. It's still fun to watch. You can hear the cicadas, how do you say it, in the background. Usually we're only close enough to see UPS planes get tugged back and forth, but there's a big old Qatar A350-1000. O'Malley corrects me, cicada has an S sound. Gina M says, I saw my first 747-400 yesterday, Walt. It was beautiful against the cloud cover. So this aircraft going to DFW Terminal D, the international terminal. And it leaves, I think, generally around 11 p.m. So about 2.5 hours before its scheduled departure. Give you a last look at our evening sky here after the sun goes below the horizon. It's very nice, colorful sky. See if we've got anything coming in before we have to depart. Ron C says, great work dealing with multiple problems and still getting the show on the air. Well, again, if it wasn't clear, I wanted to try to use a setup which is going to be similar to what we'll be using on our trip to Korea and, well, for that matter, to Los Angeles. So everything's kind of stripped down as far as what we normally have on hand to broadcast with. And we're just seeing if it works. A beautiful night, says O'Malley. So yes, just to be clear, because of where we are, because it gets super dark where we are, there's no street lights or anything to kind of keep us illuminated, and we're on a side road here. I just want to make sure you guys know we're not going to be going into the night. We're not going to go into after dark territory, although it may be dark by the time we finish up here. But I think we're about to head over to Chatstravaganza land. So let me see if I can make that happen. I don't think we have our Chatstravaganza music, so we'll just have to do. Okay, it's time for Chatstravaganza, when you, the Runway DFW viewer, have the opportunity to watch me pack things up while you chat amongst yourselves and listen to some fabulous music. So we'll put that on now, and I hope to see you again soon on Runway DFW. It's going to be 100 degrees plus all week here in North Texas, so our broadcasting may be somewhat limited, but we'll have a go at it, shall we? But thanks for watching. Thanks for your likes and subscriptions. Thanks for your memberships, and we'll see you soon. Happy contrails to you until we meet again. I don't have all my usual graphics and stuff here, so we're just going to kind of do it a little wild. We'd like to welcome CPA 919 as a Tri-Jet member. Let's give, do we have that here? Well, yeah, I don't see. I see that message here, so thank you, CPA 919. And you will appear on our membership list next time. Okay, let the Chatstravaganza begin.
This is the bright blend of easy rock. You hear nothing but the best. Come along, it's a blast. Much more fun!
Well, I think we're about done packing up here. I've got a few extra things to pack away in the trunk here. As you can see, I was right about it getting dark pretty quickly. As you can see, these Sky Chefs trucks speeding past us. But thanks again for hanging out with us on this kind of abbreviated edition of Runway DFW. We'll see you next time. Happy contrails to you until we meet again.